After 13 years of barbering, I decided to walk away, and honestly, it was not an easy decision. I have been a barber for 13 years. I've worked on the East Coast, I've worked on the West Coast. I've done just about every type of haircut you could think of, from long, straight hair with shears to beard trims to high skin fades, low skin fades, everything. I've learned a lot over the years. There's still always something to learn in barbering, but I've just about done everything in this career. The reason I'm leaving, yeah, the reason I'm leaving, well, actually, the reason I already left, I should say, is because I did a little too much, if that makes sense. Well, it'll make more sense once I explain. So basically, what happened was over these 13 years of barbering, I started off in my garage back on the East Coast in Maryland, is where I'm from. And I started off cutting hair in my garage for some friends and my little brother and stuff like that. Led to me, going to barber school. And once I got into barber school, I fell in love with it. It was so much fun. I was like, yeah, and I could definitely see myself doing this. And then, once I was doing barber school and I got into actual, career, learned a lot over the years from a lot of different barbershops. And what happened was I just worked in so many different barbershops. First, I worked all around DC, Maryland, Virginia, the whole DMV area. And then I decided to move to California, to San Diego, and I started over. You know, when you move shops, you're somewhat starting over unless you're close by. But when you move states, you're for sure starting over. So I started over, built up a clientele again, and then I started moving around. The reason I moved around so much, in my eyes, I was always just looking for something better. I had no aspiration for oh, let me just go and open up my shop. No, I was always just looking for a better shop, something where I thought I could make more money. Maybe the commission was higher, maybe the booth rent was lower, maybe they charged more, whatever it may be. I was always looking for something better. And so that's basically what happened with how I got around to working at so many different barbershops. But if you're familiar with this type of field in the service industry and you're building a clientele, when you move around too much, you're not going to keep your clients. You know what I mean? So one, they're going to get tired of you moving around and might not want to follow you. And two, when you move across states, obviously, you're not going to be able to get to cut anybody when you're, moving to, out of the state that they're in. And yeah, so I did a lot of that. I jumped around. I want to say I worked in maybe, I want to say I have to sit and count. I'm kind of forgetting off the top of my head, but I want to say maybe 8 different barbershops, including one of my own, somewhere around that number. And that's a lot of barbershops. No one should ever work that many barbershops. The maximum number of barbershops that a barber should do if they're trying to elevate should only be 2. And I'm telling you guys this because if you're a barber and you're in my shoes, or you're just considering making a career change or anything like this, or maybe you're new to barbering and you want to know what not to do, this is why I'm telling you this, because I made the mistakes already and I don't want you to. If barbering is a great career, you can make a lot of money from it, you can do really well, but the maximum number of shops you should move to is 2. Okay, sometimes you can't control it. Yeah, if you're moving across the country or whatever, okay, that's different. Maybe you've already moved twice and now you got to move a third time, but the maximum number, if you can control it, should be 2. The first shop you work in, you're building your clientele, you're learning how to cut hair, because barber school teaches you the basics, but you don't really learn your skill set, your really, really good skill set, until you're in an actual shop and surrounded by barbers that are way better than you. That's when you really learn. That's when you really develop that skill set. And so basically, the first shop that you work in is your starter shop. That's the shop where you're developing your skills, you're learning the career, learning what to do, what not to do, getting comfortable with different types of hair, all sorts of things, okay? The second shop that you move to is because you want to start making more money. Okay, so let's say the first shop that you're working in is just some little neighborhood shop. They're charging like, maybe $20 a haircut, 15, $20 a haircut, whatever. Um, Nowadays, it's even hard to find that, but whatever. They're charging a low rate. Your skill sets have developed, and you've built a strong clientele, and you feel about ready enough to like make more money or charge more. So now you look for another shop. So now you're going to look for a new shop. I would say obviously not to go too far away if you want to keep most of the clients that you've built already. Okay, especially if it's a booth rent shop. Don't like if you're brand new, I get it, but try not to go to a booth rental shop if you don't have any clients because it's a lot harder to develop. It's a lot harder to just make money, booth rental shops are the best shops to work in for barbers because you get to keep all your money. But as a beginner barber, you're trying to develop your skill set and build your clientele, but you also want to make sure you're making money still. And you're going to make some mistakes here and there. So you definitely want to make sure, in my opinion, you start with like a commission shop and then you move up to booth rental while bringing your clientele, because now you have a clientele already. You're not going to have to rely on every single client that's walking through the door in the new shop, and you're already going to have your booth rental covered with your clients, and whoever other new clients that you build up on top of that, that's going to be just extra money in your pocket. So that's definitely my advice. But so first shop, you develop your skills. Second shop, you're trying to make more money, and I guess that's only moving one shop technically. So that if you were going to move again, if you're going to move to the next shop, because your first shop is like your starter shop, you haven't actually like moved yet. So that's your first shop. Second shop, make more money. Third shop is if you just really aren't happy at that second shop, or if you found a really great opportunity where somebody is gonna put you in a location, or maybe give you a cheaper booth rental or whatever it may be, that can allow you to make more money still. So, and then that's it. That like it shouldn't be more than that. Where I messed up in my career is I've jumped around to so many different shops over the years. Even moving across the country while in San Diego, I moved to like 4 different shops and I opened up my own. So with me doing that, I just kept losing clients, and then COVID happened and all that. So, and I just kept losing clients, no matter how good your skill set is, if you move around a bunch all over, clients are eventually going to stop following you. Yes, you might have a few loyal ones, which is amazing, but clients will eventually stop following you because they want more convenience for them, and which is perfectly fine, makes sense, and you're going to have to keep rebuilding. And to sum that all up is basically what I mean is I messed up in my career by jumping around to too many different barbershops. And then I opened up my own, and then I shut it down due to COVID. And I was just moving around to so many different shops that I kept losing all my clients. I kept restarting my clients over and over again. And after 13 years of working and building and doing all these things, I just got tired of wanting to restart my clientele all over again, start from scratch like I'm a brand new barber again, and build my whole new clientele and all that. So I just got and is some other things too, but that was like the main part of it. But then also like I was really losing the passion because it started to become all about the money because I was struggling financially. So because I was struggling financially, because I moved around so much and had to keep restarting my clientele and everything, I ended up having to like pick up another job, a second job, an overnight job just to make more money until I built my clientele up again. And it's just all these things. So I just got to a point where for me, like I started to see myself like lose the passion. I'm now I was charging a lot, but in my opinion, I'm worth it because I'm great at what I do. I've been doing it forever, and I'm a really good listener when it comes to my clients, and I can, give them what they ask for. And so it just became to the point though. I'm like, it's all about the money. It's all I can focus on, and as much as I love barbering and it's a skill I'll have forever, it's just really hard because I just kept looking at clients as dollar signs instead of like, like family, like clients. These are people that are spending their money to come and trust you to cut their hair and give them a good experience. And yeah, so I don't know if I'll be ever really done with barbering. Like I might always still like cut on the side or something, just because like I have this skill set and I do love it and I want the passion. Like the passion is there. It's just like um, it got blinded by the money struggles and all these things, and it started just having me look at clients as dollar signs. And you want to just develop the skill and treat every client like they're your family and just really give them a good experience and a great haircut. So I say all this to say that the career that I've transitioned into is IT. IT is obviously something that will be around forever, and it's constantly growing. And I'm sure a lot of people have noticed like there's a big trend in cybersecurity and all these other tech fields that have been trending on social media and stuff. Now, I wasn't getting into it because of that, but I just knew IT was just going to be something that would always be around as we just keep going further and further into the future and AI and all this stuff. Regardless of the AI taking people's jobs, like there's always still going to be a use for people that know technology, right? So I did something that was very uncomfortable for me. I had to go back to school, and I can make a separate video on this later, but you actually do not need school to really get into it. But I did that because I just felt like I just didn't know anything and felt like it was the right place to start. So anyways, I took a cybersecurity boot camp at San Diego State University. It was a 9-month program, taught you everything, basic training for like cybersecurity. And it was good, it does teach a lot, a little bit boring, but it does teach a lot of the things that you would need getting into cybersecurity. It's just the one thing they don't tell you when getting into something like that or signing up for a boot camp or school is like you're not going to get it if you're doing a career transition like me. I'm 34 years old and you're changing careers from something complete opposite, from barbering to IT. You're not just going to do the school, graduate, and get a job right in cybersecurity. So it took a lot of talking to people, like understanding how this field works. I never had a LinkedIn before. I had to create a LinkedIn profile, and also transitioning from basically being my own boss to working a 9 to 5 for these companies. It is a big, like, super difficult transition, and I'm anxious to see where it takes me. But it's definitely a struggle. It's a struggle to adjust to. So one thing I will say, if you have your freedom where you're at, I would say stick with that freedom, because working a 9 to 5 for people is not it. But basically, once I was done with the boot camp, I graduated with my certificate in cybersecurity. But what I was getting to was that what they don't tell you is that, like, you're not just get a job in cybersecurity. You have to get some kind of IT job first, and it's most likely gonna be a help desk job. But on top of that, the help desk jobs are really hard to get. They say it, some of these gurus and stuff say it's not hard. They're hard to get, if because you need to know how to manipulate your resume to have those transferable skills that you can use to put, on your resume, and really fluff that resume up. But then on top of that, you need to actually pass the interview too, because they're going to ask you some shit, some tech shit, and you need to know how to answer. And that was the hard part for me. I was pretty nervous in my first interview, but I will say it took me 6 months of applying nonstop until a job finally gave me a chance. And the job doesn't pay shit, doesn't pay anything. It is so terrible. It is such a downgrade in pay, but it was such a struggle to find any IT job that I had to take it to get my experience. And they're teaching me a lot, and it's fully remote, which is what I wanted. I just didn't actually know I was going to get lucky and have my first IT job be like, fully remote, but you're going to work as a, or sorry, I work as a technical support specialist. It's basically a help desk job. And you're just answering calls all day and trying to help people through their tech issue problems. Now, fortunately, I do work for I'm contracted out to a bigger company, and so we handle only calls within branch offices from employees. We're not like taking calls from like people that are like, at home, calling about their Wi-Fi or whatever. So that's the nice part of it, because although we do get frustrating calls here and there, like most people are like, you know, not not the worst, because I've seen how people can be, on customer service calls and stuff like that. So yeah, but it took me 6 months to land this first job. I've been in this job for 4 months, and I just want you guys to see the process with me, because I know that there are probably a lot of you out there that um, are going through the same thing, thinking about a career change, in tech. Maybe you're 34 years old, maybe you're older, maybe you're a little bit younger, but you want to know what the process is going to be like. So I'm here to start trying to make a weekly video on the process that I've been going through to get to the point that I'm at now in IT, and keep you guys updated on to the point where I get an actual job that is paying well. There are some YouTubers out there that give great information, and they help a lot. One of them is Simone Bees on YouTube. She gives quality information. I've been recommended to her for a long time, and I've been following her stuff, and I've even spoken to her or her team, somebody through the DMs, and yeah, she gives great information. Another one is what's his name? Another one is a cybersecurity guy. I'm spacing on his name right now. I know his name. I don't know. I'm forgetting right now. But he also gives some great information on cybersecurity, like basic training or more advanced training, whatever you're trying to get into. So yeah, but another thing they don't tell you is that like you need your CompTIA Security Plus, which is like a certification. It's an IT certification. It's it's an entry level one, but it's like the top entry level one, if that makes sense. And that one, it trumps like the A plus and some of the other like lower certifications. And it's the one you want to go for when you're first trying to get into IT. Now, you don't really need it to get a help desk job. Like this job that I have right now, I probably could have gotten regardless of having this certification or not. But you will need it bit more advanced IT. So if you want to work for government contracts, which is what Simone Bees promotes a lot, if you want to, um, if you want to, work in cybersecurity, or at least like system administration, or maybe a tier three support specialist or anything like that, those might require the certification. So I would focus on trying to get that first before even going to school. Like you can watch YouTube videos that can train you, you can read books, you can do all these things, but I would just focus on getting that before ever deciding even to go into school. I don't even recommend school. If anything, I recommend some like one of these people's boot camps or something that they can get you into. Um, there's a lot of good information out there, and you can do a lot of these boot camps for like a lot cheaper than paying some big university, which I did. So learn from my mistakes. If you guys want to hear more about the journey, just go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I'm going to do my best to try to come out with a weekly post on my journey going from barbering to tech, and show you guys like the raw, like honest truth. Okay, so like I said, I've been a barber for 13 years. I am now transitioning into tech, and I am currently working in a remote help desk role, but the goal is to get to like something in cybersecurity, or at least something that is just paying a lot more than help desk. Help desk level 1 is one of the worst paying jobs in this economy. So it's the easier job to get and to land. In this economy, like with everything so expensive, it is one of the worst jobs to have at the moment. So if you're gonna do it, just make sure you got your bills in order, your debt in order, because or you got a second job, because yeah, it doesn't look good. But I will say that I've learned that in this job, like there is a lot to learn and it's a lot to do, and you like in the tech world, you can move up very quickly. And I do believe it. You just need to get that first job. It really just starts with that one job. But I do believe it because I've been getting jobs reaching out to me through LinkedIn and calls. I've been getting a lot of them. It's just nothing that really is a lot better than where I'm at now. Like it might be $1 or two more than what I'm making now, but it might be on site. And I'm like, well, I work fully remote right now. So why downgrade to an on-site job just for a couple dollars? Like it doesn't make sense to me because I want to be fully remote, you know? So, but I've been getting jobs hitting me up left and right. So it is easier to get job offers once you get in that first help desk role, but it's just getting that first one. It's the hardest part. And yeah, and I'm here to give you guys, the honest truth on everything and how it goes. So, like I said, if you want to keep up with my journey, if you have questions, I'll try to make more videos on specific questions that are asked a lot. And I am going to just give you guys like the step-by-step, play-by-play on how I got to where I am. And once I do get to that six-figure tech role, like how I got there and all that stuff. Because I know I'm going to get it. I know it's coming. I just got to go through got to go through my journey, So, yeah. Again, my name is Alex, 34 years old. I transitioned from barbering for 13 years to IT, and I'm still going through the transition right now in real time. So if you guys want to keep up with my journey, please go ahead and show some love and subscribe to my channel, and I will catch you guys next week.